I'm back for sourdough starter part 2. I'm ready to talk about what happened. I don't know if the first starter was going well. There was a day where I thought I saw some pink hue to the top of it, and I've heard that that is definitely not a good thing. So when I saw that, and I was already getting a little bit frustrated and confused, I kind of panicked, and instead of like making sure that I had really good light and, you know, taking a little video or a picture and like really looking at it, I panicked and stirred it all up. I was like, okay, if it's bad and there's pink on it, then it'll happen again when I check it later today or tomorrow. And then I don't know if I ever really saw it again, but it was like just not bubbling. And when I think the last thing that I had recorded was trying to get it to rise. It didn't move, like at all. Nothing. So I kind of gave up on it. I felt that maybe I doomed it from the start by using bleached flour, and I wanted to start over and do it right and just feel a little more confident with what I was using. So in the meantime, I found this other person on YouTube. She's a German woman who has been making sourdough for a very long time, and she learned how to make it from her mom, and her mom learned how to make it from her mom. So it's this method that's been passed down for generations, and it does not involve discarding. And just the fact that it's German, I don't know, it sounds pretty cool to me. So I want to try out what she does, which involves buttermilk and flour, unbleached. She said at least all-purpose flour, but like a wheat flour would be better, or even like a rye flour would be best. So I'm just going to use the unbleached bread flour that I got before. So what she does, she said that you pour about half, maybe a little bit more, of the mason jar. Oh, now it's maybe a little bit more than half, whatever. And then you put, she said, so she doesn't measure either, but she said it's probably about a half a cup, maybe. Just gonna add a little bit. She said, again, you're looking for like a thick pancake batter consistency. She also gave the tip of using caraway seeds if it seems to be having a hard time becoming active. You can kind of kickstart it with caraway seeds. So like, I'm not gonna just jump to that right off the bat, but something to keep in mind. She also covers hers with a beeswax paper, which she said that she has a video on how to make. I haven't watched that yet, but I'm curious. Okay, that seems like a thick pancake batter. I think that should be fine. So she mixes it up, and then she puts it on her windowsill. I'm going to set it by the stove so that, like, as I'm cooking, warmth will get to it, because I don't have a windowsill downstairs in the kitchen that I can set this on, which I think would be the ideal place for it. So yeah, then we'll check in with it tomorrow and see what happens. Day 2. Just gonna peek at it. So I don't, see it very well. It smells, I'd say it smells kind of yogurty. It's just kind of thick. Not real bubbly or anything yet, but it's only been a day, so I'm not expecting that yet. And literally all we do is stir it. She said she likes to tap on the bottom. She wants it to sound hollow. That lets her know that there's a lot of air in there, which is a good thing. So, and that's it. Stirred it up. I'm gonna cover it back up and put it back. So easy. Okay, so obviously my sourdough starter isn't ready to do anything with yet, but I've been really itching to make some bread, and especially for Aspen, because the bread that I buy from the store has honey in it and she can't have honey. So I wanted to make some kind of bread that she could have, and my mom has a no-knead crusty bread recipe that she gave me, so I tried that out, and look, it's beautiful. It turned out so good. I'm so excited. This is the first time I've ever made bread, okay? Ever. So yeah, I am happy. Day 3, gotta make this quick. I almost forgot to even check on it. I'm a little bit late. We are heading out as a family, so I gotta do it now real fast. It looks like it has some liquid on the top, which I know is called hooch. I think I've mentioned it before. It just means that it's possibly hungry. I don't know, I'm gonna stir it up and then see if it has it still. If it does, then I can just add some more flour. It's not super thick. It smells a little bit sour, but it's been smelling sour from the get-go, I think, because of the buttermilk. The buttermilk itself smells sour. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna cover it back up and then check on it again tomorrow morning. All right, we're on day 4. Still looking a little bit liquidy on top, so I might add a little bit of flour, just a little bit. It's not super bubbly yet. Still smells about the same. It doesn't stink. It's not a gross sour smell, so that's good. Yeah, I think I might give it a little bit of flour since it's keeps getting that liquid on top. Means it's hungry, so we shall feed it. Then I'll cover it back up. Okay, I believe today is day 7. I've kind of lost track.
All right, welcome to Super Weenie Hut Jr.
Jack is homesick.
You don't have to take that out.
Anyway, we're on day 7. And, okay, I'm going to start off with, I did some research yesterday to try and figure out, like, what to do next. You know, like, I got the bubbles, now what? I don't think it's quite there yet. It needs to have a little bit more time to become a little bit more active. The bubbles and the foam are a good sign, but I think that you should be able to see bubbles along the side, like throughout most of it, and it wasn't at that point yet. So I'm just gonna ride it out for another day or 2 and see what happens. It's looking a little more bubbly on the sides, so that's good. I did peek at it last night before bed, and it was foamy again. Oh gosh, there you go. So things that you want to look for would be the foaminess, the bubbles.
My bubbles.
And if you listen to it, you should be able to hear it popping. I hear little pops. Just a little bit. The smell. It smells like sourdough. What do you think it smells like?
Farts.
Oh, can you even smell?
No.
Oh. He's no help. The sound should be eerie. Well, actually, she was tapping on the bottom. She talked about a float test. If you take a little bit of it and drop it in some water, it should float. But that is not something that is like a determining factor by itself. None of these things are. It's like you want like a combination of all of these. I don't know. I guess let's try the float test. I already kind of dropped a little bit in the water, and it did not float. I'll show you real quick. I think it's it needs some more flour. Yeah, see it just, oh, it's kind of bubbling in there though. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more flour in it because it is pretty watery. And then we'll maybe check on it later today. See how it's doing. Making a mess. So yeah, I just want to thicken it up a little bit more. Give it a little bit more to eat on. And hopefully that will help. We're on day 7, I'm pretty sure. And I have not actually touched it today. I've been kind of peeking at the sides. Earlier, it was like all the way up here, so it's fallen a bit. But I see lots of bubbles. Decent sized bubbles. I want to try the float test again. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. That's crazy. Wow, now it's falling quite a bit. I'm not really sure what that means. But let's put some in the water. Okay, the first little droplet of it did float, but the second did not. Kind of, but not totally. I don't know what that means. Maybe that it's close? Still thick. So I think that's good. The smell is a little different. I'm not totally sure. Maybe I'll let it sit for a little while and check on it in a couple of hours now that I've stirred it. But I have spent some of today just looking into recipes and kind of thinking of what I want to do with it. So I think I have a bread recipe picked out. Now it's just a matter of making sure that this is ready. I did go ahead and add a little bit of flour and a little bit of warm water. I don't know if feeding it is necessary. It didn't have hooch, but I don't know, with it falling, the bubbles falling, maybe that's just because I let it sit too long. I'm not really sure. I'm feeling a little bit intimidated with the fact that it's got the bubbles and it's becoming active and things are going the way that I think they're supposed to go, and now it's time to do something with it. So I just need to rip off the band-aid and just go for it, but I'm hesitant with it not passing the float test yet. So I fed it a little bit, thinking maybe that will help. And I'm actually going to cover it and then go put it upstairs because that's where it's warmest in our room. So I'm going to go put it up there for a little while and keep an eye on it. And once the bubbles start to happen again, I'll do the float test again. And if it floats, then I think I'm gonna go for it. And I'm gonna try out this recipe that I found. It's a like an olive oil sourdough bread recipe. It sounds really good. So I'll keep you posted.